Hey everyone, it is Christina here. I hope you are having an amazing day wherever you are. For those of you who don't know me, I am a naturopath, I'm a herbalist, I'm a GAPS practitioner, I'm a life coach, and I'm a mentor for those who are working in the health sort of area, the alternative health area. So what I wanted to come and do is talk about my whiplash. So here's the thing. I actually think that I gave myself whiplash because I dreamed so big and then I let my brain get involved. So while it might seem like a metaphor, it kind of is. My neck is feeling quite a bit better now than it has for like the last 2 days. So I've been seeing clients for the last 2 days and I've pretty much been jumping on, seeing them, not moving, but staying straight on. And then as soon as it was over, I was like laying down with my head with a pillow like kind of all wrapped around it because I hurt my neck. So what happened was we went to our great adventure where I hired this beautiful house for us to stay in. I hired a car for us to drive the long distance drive in. We had an amazing time. The kids got to order whatever they wanted on the menu, which they don't often get to do. Like for other people that might seem like, oh, no big deal, but for my family with 7 children, them ordering whatever they want on the menu can work out to be somewhat a costly adventure. And so that was just our intention though. Our intention was to just go, enjoy, and let them order whatever it is that they wanted, and we were just experiencing some things that we don't normally get to do in our everyday life. And so while we were experiencing some of these things, we went to this amazing beach, which was Boat Harbour Beach. And yes, I totally want to move there. It was a perfect beach for us because we had 2 sides of the beach. So one side was like surf and sand, and the other side was like crab pools, like crabs and like, you know, little pools where you could look at little creatures and stuff inside the actual pool. The first day we were there, hey Kim, nice to see you here. The first day we were there, we got in late. So we pretty much got there. We got to check out the stunning view. We had a quick look at the beach, but then we had to go get dinner before all the restaurants and stuff closed. The next day we went down in the morning, and then we had friends come and we went down and spent the rest of the day down at the beach and some of it around the house as well. And then on our last day, we packed up and we went down and spent, you know, a good several hours at the beach, and we were in the water. And there was these giant waves. Well, they weren't giant waves. They were big waves, like big enough to be able to kind of start surfing on for those people who are surfers. And so we were just in the water and the waves were coming and they would smack us. And we'd, you know, it was fun. It was so much fun. And it wasn't until I got home the next day that I'm like, I can't move. Oh my God. I can't move. And I remember the sensation because the sensation was the same as when I'd rolled my car many years ago, where I'd definitely given myself whiplash and my whole neck was sore and everything down the back of my spine was sore. And I remember getting straight back to that moment of when I'd had whiplash after rolling my car. And it was this insane feeling of like going, oh my God, what? The waves did that to me? Like the waves of the beach, like getting hit with waves did that to me. And in my head, I was like, no, that can't be possible. It totally could be possible. But I've been hit by waves before and I didn't fall down. I didn't get really knocked down by any of them. Although, as I remember, there was one big one that just kind of came up behind me. And it was like, if you've ever done a belly smack into a pool where you've jumped in and you've like totally done a belly flop, and that feeling, I had one wave that did that. So it was possible that that did it. But as I was sitting there and I'm thinking about the level of pain and discomfort that I have is so much greater than what I would have anticipated from the event, that I'm actually thinking that maybe this is more than just getting hit by a wave and getting whiplash from a wave. Maybe. And so I was doing some Googling, because this is what I do with some of my clients when we're working through what is the physical manifestation that you're experiencing of the emotional problem, sometimes connecting in with actually what that problem is. So connecting in with what the specifics of that condition are can help us to actually try and figure out what the emotional connection is. and everyone's different. So there's all of these books. My kids all just got suitcases. So Marcella has got hers, and she's on this side of the camera, on the other side, doing that. She wants. Okay, now we have to show you the suitcases. Quick.
Look inside it.
She wants you to see her beautiful suitcase. I'm not going to open it, Marcella.
Inside is really cool though.
So she's very excited about her suitcase.
I've looked
there you go.
Inside and I love it.
You love it. Okay, great.
Thanks. There's even an out.
Okay, stop talking to me right now.
Bye.
Bye. So sometimes when I'm working with my clients, we need to figure out what is the emotional connection to this physical manifestation of their problems. And so I was sitting there with whiplash and looking at, the colors are really pretty. So I was looking at just what are some of the things that take place with whiplash. And it was, the wording that I read was, it is when there is a forward projection of the body and a sudden whipping motion. Like the body is moving in one direction and the head is kind of in another direction, and then it whips back. And I'm like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense to me as to what went on for my body, because we hired this amazing house which had this really awesome view, which like I could sit in the atrium that they had there, and like I would put my plants out there. It would be the most amazing like little greenhouse, hothouse, and it's got the most amazing view. So if you saw any of my photos, you would have seen this panorama of view that we got to see. The colors were amazing. It was just delightful to be there. And I'm in this big dream, and we just, we didn't worry about money. We just went and we just enjoyed because we wanted the experience. And in that, I'm in the beach, I'm in the sea, I'm doing the thing that I absolutely love, and I'm dreaming really big. And then my head starts to go, okay, how do I make this happen? Like instead of just being in the presence of the dream, my head starts to come into the action of like, how do I make this happen? What things do I need to do? In like my brain just starts ticking over into the, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? So it was like my heart's dreaming really big. It's saying yes, yes, yes. And my brain's going, I can't conceive about how we could make this possible. And the two are not necessarily in line. One's moving forward and the other is kind of doing that whiplash movement of going, yeah, but I can't. Yeah, but I can't. Yeah, but I can't. And so for me, that was my physical manifestation of this spiritual thing that was going on in me, of the building the big dream, seeing the vision that I'm calling in, but at the same time going through the really humanness of going, but I can't, but I can't, but I can't. And all of the little blocks that come up, like, who am I? Why should I have this? We've got this thing and we've been told this thing, and like all of those stories coming up instead of going, shh, hang on, I'll get to you. I'll answer you. I'll answer those stories. Thank you for trying to protect me, ego. It's okay. I'm safe. I'm allowed to dream. I'm allowed to call this stuff in. I'm allowed to desire this for my family and this experience for my family. And now I'm in this moment of like, the pain is starting to go away, it's starting to settle down. And I'm in the moment of going, okay, now it's time for us to get rid of those blocks, get rid of those things that are consistently saying to me, you're not allowed to, or you can't have, or, there are rules around this, right? Like you're not allowed to make a lot of money in 1 year. You have to, like, it's meant to take you a really long time, and you have to work really hard for that to happen. And if you can't live at the beach, like that's not a life. Like people have shacks, they only go there on the weekend, and all of the other stories that go on. And so I'm now in this process of dancing with those stories and getting rid of those stories and changing those stories, because I'm location free. I don't have to live anywhere. The only sort of proviso of where I live is that I've got internet access, that I have the ability to access the internet so I can still do my work and I can still work with my clients and all of that type of stuff. So I can live at the beach. I can live just about anywhere because of that. Not everywhere has it, but majority of places are available for us to be able to move to. So it's now moving through that process and taking the learning from the whiplash and going, those stories, it's time for you to go, it's time to heal them, and it's time to heal those wounds and actually see through the illusions of what those stories say and the messages that we receive and all of that type of stuff, and start calling in the help and the support that I need in order to make the thing that I want come to pass. And that's what we're doing right now. You know, calling in my coaches that are helping me with my particular things and supporting me through what I need to do and what I need to work through in order to create the thing that I want to create in my life. So, couple of things that I want to say. I'm not 100% better yet. I'm still a little bit sore, but I've definitely got a much greater range of movement today than I did before. Yesterday, oh my God, it was terrible yesterday. But the other thing that I want to say is, remember that we are whole beings. Like, we're not just the physical body, we're also an emotional, spiritual being as well. And these physical things that we generally experience in our body also have within it some emotional things as well. And it's about unpacking those. So when I'm working with my clients, I'm asking them the questions, and we really want to unpack, what is the emotional drivers here for you? What are the things that are actually manifesting on a physical point of view? And I see this a lot because I do a lot of gut work. And when I'm working with people with gut health issues, what I'm also looking at is people who have some area in their life where they're struggling with their own personal power, where they're struggling to have their own personal power in their own choices, their own decision-making processes, and being able to be congruent with themselves. And that personal power can sometimes be a little bit of a struggle for them. And what I can find too is that they can be going really great with their health, and they can be going really great with their gut health, and they're doing so fantastic and they're doing amazingly. And then suddenly the boat just kind of rocks, and they're like off the wagon, or they're out of the boat, or then they're trying to get back in it and they're struggling to get back in it, and they're struggling to stay in it. And when we ask the questions like, what is that about? What's really going on for you at the moment? Because it's more than just food. Like, if it was just food, you would just eat the thing that you need to eat and it would be fine. It's more than just food, because there's a subconscious patterning that's going on. And there is a physical manifestation of some emotional, spiritual problem that's going on as well. So what is that for you? And often I'll find that, you know, they might have just gone through some turbulence where they're a little bit unsure of themselves, when they're a little bit unsteady of themselves, where they were going really great, but then suddenly they became a little bit shaken up by something. Somebody said something to them that triggered another memory, and there's a wound there that needs to be healed. And all of that is, for me, amazing, in the sense that we can look at it and we can go, oh, it's so annoying that stuff comes up. Stuff will always come up. That's what life is. Like, you're never going to not ever have stuff come up. It's looking at that stuff from a different point of view, because you can look at it and go, oh my God, this is so sucky. I hate this. Why does this have to keep coming up? Why do I have to deal with this? Other people don't have to deal with this, so why do I need to deal with this? We can look at it from that point of view, or we can look at it from the reframe point of view of going, this is amazing because now it gets to be healed. Now it's being brought to my attention. Now it gets to be something that I deal with and I spend some focused time on, so that I don't have to keep reliving the stuff, that I can actually heal that wound, and I can be more gracious, loving and kind and generous, and more of who I actually am, because I've healed and I've spent time healing that wound, which means then I can help others heal that wound, and I can be more forgiving, and I can be more loving, and I can be more understanding of them when they're walking also through that wound. So we can look at it from both points of view. We can look at it from that point of view of like, oh my God, I have to do this thing, or now I get to do this thing. This gets to be the next part of my journey. This gets to be the next space of my journey. And all of it gets to be healing and beneficial to me. So there we go. I'm looking at my whiplash as a healing moment where I get to heal some of the parts of me that maybe are not completely in alignment with my big dream, and move them out of the place, because it's time for them to go, and it's time for more stuff to come in. So that's it for me today. If you want to work through some of this stuff with me, you're totally welcome to book in for a coaching session. Dream big, have fun with it, reframe it, let it lead you into healing in all the parts of your life, not just the physical, but also the emotionally spiritual as well. All right, have an amazing day, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.